Did you catch yesterday's episode? The cards were messing with me again. I drew Passions Are for Hobbies, card 28, 3 times in a row. They really wanted me to think about that. And that was after I had talked about it the day before. So I've been thinking a lot about that, and I've been putting my passions into the hobbies category and thinking about what are business ideas going forward and work ideas as well. So I've been trying to sort out everything that I do in life. And so today I thought I would think about what is it time for in life. And I'm going to draw a card for all of us to think about. And so stick around for today's episode of Life's Potluck Buffet. I'm John Paulus. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so here's the deck. Now, I'm going to say this. On the bottom of the deck, I have Passions Are for Hobbies, which I always do when I draw a card. I place it on the bottom of the deck. And then I shuffle, which is why it's so amazing that the cards made Passions Are for Hobbies pop up 3 times. It's kind of, I don't think I have any role in this. It's all the cards. Okay, so and this deck is particularly magic. So here we go. I'm going to shuffle as I do. I tell you. Okay. I shuffled 3 times. And then I am going to shuffle one more time in the traditional way that cards are shuffled. You'll hear it. Okay. Yeah, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, please don't let it be Passions Are for Hobbies. I can't do it. Okay. Oh, cards. Let's not do Passions Are for Hobbies again. Okay. I see a space that I'm going to, I always look for a gap in the cards where they're telling me to look. And so I cut the deck at exactly that point. And I'm going to, nervously, I'm going to draw the card. I don't think it's going to be Passions Are for Hobbies. I hope not. Okay. Oh, phew. Thank goodness. Card 35. Actions speak. So I asked the cards, what is it time for in life? And the cards said, loud and clear, it is time for actions to speak. Let me read you card 35. Find something that you claim about yourself or your work, but never back up with action. Be honest with yourself. What's preventing you from acting? Is it that you do not wish to pursue those actions, or is it because you do not understand how to act? If the latter, just jump in and do something right now, however little to start. What are you going to do? All right. So it is time for action in life. I've been doing some actions today, that's for sure, that I had been putting off. So for sure, I have already been following this card. I'm trying to think of more things that I have been putting off that I need to get done. This card kind of goes hand in hand with the card about Tomorrow Day. If you'll remember that episode, Tomorrow Day is about treating today as tomorrow and treating, tomorrow as today. So anything that you were going to put off to another day, schedule it for today. Find a time to do it. And if you can't, schedule it as soon as possible. And for me, that's a really good time management practice because it allows me to deal with things at both a pace that I'm comfortable with, but it also it makes me confront things that I need to do. And that's the key to the idea here in terms of actions speak, and that's key to the idea of Tomorrow Day. And you see, there's an episode called about Tomorrow Day. You'll see on the YouTube channel here. So I think that is the time element here. When it's time for actions to speak, it's always time for actions to speak. It's just, it's sometimes a struggle because we are reluctant. And that reluctance is something that I've been thinking about a lot, about how to find ways to overcome reluctance to do an action, and how to help people find ways to overcome reluctance to do action in their lives. And what I often find is that reluctance, at least in my case, and in the case of many others, is tied to some sort of identification or identity that you have wrapped up in something. So either parting with an identity or taking on a new identity. When we think about our actions in regard to that, actions end up in existential crises. So, in a certain way, what the cards talk about is how to move around fluidly within identities. But there's also one step further that we can take, that I always work on taking, and that is to untether or disentangle or untie identity from work, whatever work I'm doing, so that I'm not standing on an identity, but rather standing on actions. And that's what this card 35 is about, is actions speak. The identity part of our work lives, whether it's with an organization, a position, a culture, a work culture, an idea of a work culture, an industry, a sector. How many times have we tied ourselves to a specific sector or industry or idea that is so essential to our identity in our imagining that it's hard for us to do the next action that moves us on from that? And doing actions, rather than concerning ourselves with speaking about our identity or speaking about actions, is the key here. And that means that, perhaps we say, well, I need to think about my relationship to my work in a way that is tied to action rather than spoken identity or claims about identity. That's really what gets us all tangled up. Because once we claim a work identity for ourselves, it has the tendency, in persons like myself and many others, to, and maybe this is you too, to overwhelm the other identities. And I think in our culture in the U.S., that's especially true, that work identity is such a central part to who we are. We have sets of identities that simply encompass our lives, and that work identity is one we really cling on to sometimes. So, what is it time for in life? Well, I know for me, and maybe for you too, It's time to cling on to action rather than identity. It's time to let action speak rather than claims about ourselves. Give that a thought. See how that works for you today. And let me know in the comments. Drop me a line. Thanks for joining me today. I'm so glad you could. And I'll see you next time on Life's Potluck Buffet.